time, huh?
Till it's game time.
You know, nobody has been a bigger supporter and defender of Shedeur Sanders than I have been. Sanders carries himself like a Sanders.
Scouts are shocked, and honestly, they should be, because Shedeur Sanders didn't just show up to a private workout. He humiliated every expectation, every doubt, and every so-called expert who dared to sleep on him. This wasn't a workout. It was a jaw-dropping, career-redefining performance that left the entire NFL buzzing and desperate to figure out how they let a franchise QB slip through their fingers.
Shedeur Sanders, who I thought should go first overall, fell to fifth round pick of the Cleveland Browns.
They tried to bury him. Let's just call it what it was, a coordinated cold shoulder. No combine invite, no hype. Round after round, his name kept sliding. They thought if they ignored him long enough, he'd just disappear into the pile of what could have been. But what they didn't account for was the fire inside Shedeur Sanders.
It's really hard to explain. It really is like a mystery. It's.
This wasn't just any quarterback being overlooked. This was the most complete quarterback in the 2025 draft. A guy with NFL blood in his veins and a brain wired for the game. He didn't just have arm strength, he had command, decision-making, accuracy, vision. Yet somehow, Shedeur slid all the way to the fifth round. Fifth round.
The Browns did finally take him. 50 picks after the Browns had already taken Dylan Gabriel, who also happens to be...
Let that sink in. The Browns took another quarterback, Dylan Gabriel, 50 picks before they took Shedeur. That's not just an oversight, that's a message, but instead of folding, Shedeur went quiet. Not with sulking, not with subtweets. He went quiet the only way killers do, by getting to work.
We got 8 each side, so 16 total. 2 weeks left.
A viral midnight workout in Dallas? That wasn't content. That was conviction. No lights, no camera crew, just Shedeur, a football, and the kind of Texas heat that melts your resolve if you're not built right. He was throwing darts at 1 a.m. like the game was on the line. That was his way of saying, you're going to see me whether you want to or not. But that was just the warm-up.
And he did go straight up to Cleveland. He got to work, trying to win over his new teammates.
What really turned the NFL upside down happened in Miami. Now, this wasn't your typical post-college workout in some rented high school field. This was the private facility, the one where Tom Brady goes to sharpen up, where Aaron Rodgers disappears to master his craft in peace. You don't step onto that turf unless you're serious. And Shedeur, he came loaded.
Rip it.
Just cleaning the little details up, getting back right, getting that chemistry back together like we had it during the season. I mean, he the reason I came here to play with a quarterback of his caliber, someone that's...
But he didn't invite media. He didn't bring trainers hyping him up on the sidelines. He invited the Wolves, former NFL defensive coordinators, veteran scouts who've seen Mahomes, Manning, and every so-called prodigy in between. These guys weren't there to be impressed. They were there to tear him apart, to test him, to expose the hype.
The league done him wrong. League tried to teach him and his father a lesson.
15 NFL decision-makers showed up before sunrise, 6 a.m., clipboards in hand, doubt written all over their faces. This was surgical. No fluff, no music, no second takes, just a quarterback walking into the fire with zero excuses, and then it started. First drill. 40-yard throws to NFL-caliber receivers. Not college kids still learning the ropes. These were guys who've been in the league, who know how to separate, who know how to push a quarterback's ball placement to the limit.
I doubt it, though, Paul, because in football, there's these regional scouts.
The first throw left the scout section dead quiet. A 40-yard missile, tight spiral, hit the receiver in stride. No pause, no break in rhythm. That's not just a strong arm, that's a pro arm. Then came the second throw, a comeback route, tougher, requires timing and anticipation. Shedeur let it go before the receiver even made his cut. The ball hit the receiver square in the chest the exact moment he turned. One scout literally dropped his clipboard, actually dropped it. The energy shifted immediately. And if they thought that was a fluke, oh, they weren't ready for what came next.
2 minutes left in the game. You know what's going on. So we're in that mode right now.
Now it's a 2-minute drill. Ball on the 15th, down by 6, no timeouts. 85 yards to glory. They loaded up a defense with real NFL veterans. No practice squad energy here. These were former starters who know how to disguise coverages and bait young QBs into ugly mistakes. Defense shows one look, then rotates the second the ball is snapped. Most college QBs freeze in that moment. Some throw a pick, some just eat turf. But Shedeur, he slides into the pocket like he's been doing this for a decade, keeps scanning, doesn't blink, finds the smallest window, a sliver between a linebacker and safety, and rips a strike. Receiver catches it in stride. Touchdown. The linebacker who blew the coverage just froze. The safety who rotated over just shook his head. The scouts, they weren't sitting anymore. Some were already on their feet. One GM, off the record, said it was the most complete QB performance he'd seen in 2 decades, but we're still not done. Next up,
Shedeur now brings up the rear in Cleveland, Ohio. Way to go, league. You did it.
pressure simulation, former Pro Bowl pass rushers collapsing the pocket, blitzes coming from every angle, 7-step drops, the kind of drill designed to turn even seasoned QBs into live
Keeps the thought of that general manager in the process of evaluating a player.
snap, edge rush, middle pressure. The pocket folds in a second. Shedeur steps up, sidesteps, keeps his eyes downfield, and throws a 30-yard dart between 2 defenders while getting hit. The ball drops perfectly into the receiver's hands. The pass rusher, mid-tackle, just watches it float past him. Then a scout claps. Another joins in. Before long, it's like a standing ovation in a silent room. If you're with us until now, make sure to subscribe to the channel. You don't get that kind of respect unless you've just rewritten the narrative. And just when they thought they'd seen everything, the coaches took it up another level.
I don't think that there was no, and I keep hearing everybody talk about the league colluded against the Sanders family.
They handed him the full NFL playbook, not watered-down college concepts, full schemes, hot routes, pre-snap motion, blitz pickups, audibles. This is the stuff that takes NFL rookies years to master. Shedeur? He started calling protections and checking out of plays like a 10-year vet. On one snap, he spotted a disguised coverage, adjusted protection, signaled a new route to his slot receiver, and bang, touchdown. The defensive coordinator who schemed that disguise just stood there stunned. Didn't even argue, just hands on hips, silent.
Shedeur opened up by saying all the right things about his disgusting plummet.
What Shedeur did next might have been more impressive than the throw. He didn't walk off celebrating. He walked up to the defenders and asked questions. Real questions. What did you see there? How would you adjust next time? Where would you have baited me? A former NFL linebacker who was there said, "I've trained QBs for 10 years, and they don't ask those questions." That's not just talent, that's obsession. That's film room curiosity, coming alive on the field. That's how leaders operate.
Them big ass hamstrings is getting tired. Man, what? What you got downhill?
And then chaos. Within 48 hours of the workout, Shedeur's camp was fielding calls. 3 different teams trying to schedule private visits. The Giants reportedly sent their offensive coordinator to dig through the tape again. The Raiders, their owner, not a scout, the owner, that personally called his agent. Draft boards were being ripped up, rewritten, rearranged.
I would say it's definitely a learning experience. That a lot of things aren't in your control, and just getting the knowledge from dad and just coach family and friends and everybody, you know, that's supporting me and helping me through this process is extremely important.
The same teams that had him mocked in the late rounds were now asking, how the hell did we miss this? And Shedeur, calm as ever, after his pro day, where he went 58 for 63 with 3 of those incompletions being straight-up drops. He told the media, "You'd be a fool not to pick me. No ego, just facts. Everything he said he could do, he did." Deion Sanders said it best. "I told y'all, nobody wanted to listen. Well, now they're listening."
That Shedeur immediately did impress everyone with his presence, with his body language, with his command, just with his star quality.
The Cleveland Browns ended up taking Shedeur in the 5th round after already drafting Dylan Gabriel. But now, that backup QB storyline is dead on arrival. Shedeur isn't just in the mix, he's pushing for that starting job. And if you look at the full body of work, he's earned it. Across Jackson State and Colorado, Shedeur Sanders threw for over 14,000 yards, 134 touchdowns, a 70% plus completion rate. He won the 2024 Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award, Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year, and still, they let him fall. Now he's rising.
Sanders carries himself like a Sanders.
So here's the real question. If Shedeur Sanders can handle pressure like this, if he can break down NFL defenses before he's even drafted, what happens when you give him the keys to the franchise? What happens when that chip on his shoulder becomes the engine for a dynasty? Because the NFL didn't just underestimate a good quarterback, they nearly missed a generational one.